So yeah, if I can't keep my head in the sand and I got to come at things head on, should I be the bull in the china shop? Just get it done?
Both extremes are going to get you in trouble. I ought to know. Yeah, really ought to know.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
So we're excited to introduce you to another episode, really, where for over 30 years, we've been able to come alongside you, helping not only buy, sell, and invest in real estate over 3,117 times, but helping people build their wealth, helping people make the most out of their home, building fun, faith, finances, and even fitness, and strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. So 30 years of building your home, your life, and your finances. Discovery. I love discovery. And in connecting with people, when things get messy, it takes a ton of vulnerability, right? So in this segment, we're going to discover how we can do it, and that maybe going briskly, being that bull in the china shop, even though we've been saying deal with things head on, might also be a costly approach to the relationship.
Yeah, I think it's a heart issue. You know, Brene Brown says that vulnerability is strength.
Right.
It's not weakness. It's total strength. And I think if you have a heart of reconciliation, a heart of wanting to approach the subject or the issue with a soft heart and a empathetic heart, it will be felt. Whereas if you charge at it to solve it, it may just accelerate the issue, just kind of like hiding your head in the sand does.
Right. So both extremes are costly to the relationship. And an interesting thing you're just saying is you're talking about when there's an issue, when there's a problem. And the first thing that ran through my head when we talked about bull in the china shop as we were chatting about this segment was a beautiful elderly lady that called our office quite a few years ago now. I'm great. The further I get away from it, the less pain it has. But there was no issue. So sometimes there isn't even an issue. And our bull in the china shop approach creates the issue.
Okay.
Right? And so at that time, our process isn't really that different today, except we start with a 15-minute clarity call, which is just, should we even be furthering the conversation? What do you need from us? What do you think the next step is? And so we start much smaller now. And that was really the first 15, 20 minutes that call was about. So an elderly lady that had been getting our community newsletter, felt she knew us personally, was connected to us, had been getting it for over 20 years at that point, because our newsletter's been out there since 1989. And if you're not getting it, actually email us at together@dekkerteam.com, and we send out a weekly real estate related update. Sometimes it's market updates, sometimes it's basic real estate information, sometimes it's living in your home, how to communicate better. It's all that it takes to live the best life possible. So if you're not getting it, together@dekkerteam.com and say, I want in on the bearer. And we'll know what that means.
And you know what? The bearer also has easy to click on links to video YouTubes that will amplify what we've been talking about, recordings of this show, blogs which may expand what we're talking to about on the radio, because we only have a certain amount of time.
Yeah, so we want to share that with you. We want to go on the journey with you even further if it feels good to you. And so this gal thought we were fabulous. And so she just called to say, can you come and bring my house to market? I need to move. I need to move into a retirement home. And I've been here for 40 years. My husband passed away 10 years ago, and I just can't do it alone anymore. So I want your help. And unfortunately, there is a formula, like we talked about earlier. We had a formula. There was a system. We had a checklist. And it was just say, tell me a little bit about your house. What's the motivation for making a move? It was just asking some general questions, because without those questions, it's hard to answer. It's hard to actually customize the solution.
And it's hard to come prepared.
Right.
to the meeting if we don't have that preliminary information.
Right. And at that point, I believed it was better that our team members that were answering the phone had that initial conversation. So today we generally do them ourselves.
That was a big mistake, wasn't it?
It was a huge mistake. And this particular day, and this gal that worked for us, she was probably one of the softest souls I knew. She was a beautiful heart. Mm-hmm. And having this phone conversation was really uncomfortable for her. So unfortunately, the elderly lady felt interrogated.
Yeah, because she was just going systematically through the questions instead of having a conversation and discovering the answers.
Right.
She was question after question after question after question.
And it was a bull in the china shop approach, even though this gal was not a bull kind of person. She wasn't a Yetta. Like, I can always come across interrogating if I step up my pace, and if I just be me sometimes, I have to be careful. I have to tone it down because I'm excited to hear the answers. I want to know how I can help you. And so it can become like questions are being fired at you in an interrogating way. So I've learned mostly how to get a little more conversational.
Yes.
And I can still forget myself. So that particular day, I knew things had gone way awry when she managed to book the appointment, because this elderly lady knew she wanted us to care for her. And it was Osgood. It was our stomping ground. We'd lived there for 20 years. Like, we knew the market. And then she called to tell me that she was going to call her lawyer. And I was like, what? What are you going to call your lawyer for? And it was because she had felt that the treatment she received was so interrogative that she thought she needed her lawyer to protect her.
So a lawyer to tell her what she could say and what she couldn't say, kind of thing?
That too, but even like, what is she supposed to do now? So needless to say, we didn't end up helping her, right? Because I couldn't recover that. Once the damage had been done, the damage was done.
Right.
And so I think the bull in the china shop approach can show up even when there wasn't a problem.
Yes, it can. Being too direct. You know, it happened to me when I had a new area director for the company, the franchise, and you know, other leaders had tough conversations with me through the years, guiding me, directing me, encouraging me, admonishing me for different things. And this particular fellow just came right at me with, you're doing this wrong, you need to do this, you're not going to make it, whatever, boom, boom, boom. And he didn't have any rapport, he didn't have any connection. So guess what I did with that information?
Nothing.
I took offense. And then our relationship never developed. We never had a great relationship ever while he was a director.
Yeah.
But I outlasted him.
Well, there is a thought, right? So really, when you're navigating a tough thing, think about what's the best approach for this person. And do you have the depth of relationship to be direct? And direct and frank doesn't mean rude and obnoxious.
No, it doesn't.
Or harsh.
No. Okay, so here's the rub. Herein lies the rub, right? You need to still take the bull by the horn, but don't be the bull. We're honored to be your advocates on this journey of building wealth through real estate and living a life exponential.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.